Here I'm posting a quick video of a all cedar wood paddleboard that I made over about 8 months, but it was from log to board, so quite extensive. This is the finished product. There's also a little bit of eucalyptus on the front and back just to give a different color, but that's the end product, and let's go from the beginning. Very beginning process, getting the logs. Took about, I believe, 3 moderate sized logs to do the skin of the paddleboard. The milling process for the skin. Reducing a larger log to smaller and smaller pieces. Now to the shop. Anytime you're dealing with wood straight from a log, there's a lot of processing that is involved. It makes you appreciate what the lumber mills do. Edging the boards. They were about 1 inch thick, but the thickness of the board itself about 3/8 inch. This is a frame kit I purchased that helped greatly. Frame kit not only provided the spars or the rails, but also gave the paddleboard its shape by having little tabs that gave it a rocker. You can notice those at the very bottom of the frame. Just use hot glue to attach the frame tabs to a flat surface. Now putting on the sides to the frame, also provided with the kit. Now the kit portion's all done, glued together. The beginning process of putting the skin on, once again about 3/8 thick strips of cedar. And this is the bottom of the board. Do the bottom first. All the cedar strips on and the cutting off of extra cedar. Once the bottom was done, at least putting the skin on, flip it over, and all those tabs that gave the paddleboard its shape now need to be cut off so that the top skin can be added as well. It's a large board, about 11'6" in length, and the particular shape kind of cuts through the water instead of goes over it. So it's a bit of a fairly calm conditions, but fast in that condition. The top of the board, skin nearly complete. Just need to do some trimming now. See from that picture, it's going to be a lot of sanding involved. Now applying some additional wood to the sides, also cedar. First a thin strip from tip to tail, and that was easy to work with. And of course there's always going to be few catastrophes, or they feel like catastrophes at the time when you're building a large project, and I happened to leave it in a very fragile position and it fell over, of course, but no major damage. And now some more significant wood on the sides, as well as wood for both the front and the back, and as I said earlier, the very back and front was eucalyptus, just to give it a different color. And you can also see the vent hole there. I understand it's extremely important to have a vent because there's enough air inside that board that if you don't have it vented, it could totally crack the board, both fiberglass and wood, without a vent from expansion. It's the front of the board, a little eucalyptus on the very tip of it. Some scrap wood, and there's much more than that. Now getting it sanded down, making it look a little prettier and getting the final shape. It's starting to look great. This picture illustrates just where larger cracks and depressions were noticeable, and I added a epoxy sawdust mixture to fill those in. There's the plastic vent in place, epoxied in. A little custom action there on the back. This is showing the very first skim coat, I believe it's called, of epoxy. So no fiberglass on it yet, but just the epoxy fills in the pores in prep for the next step. And making the wood really pop now, really look good. After the skim coat, put the fiberglass on, and the heavy coat, a coat up as well over the fiberglass, and then a field coat after that. Now to the bottom of the board, you can see where the fin will go. Got a fin box for that. And this is the skim coat, I believe. Stuff I'll have to deal with the sanding. At this point, all the fiberglass is on. It's been sanded again, and now putting on varnish to protect the wood, fiberglass, everything. And I did 3 coats of varnish, and that's the minimum recommendation. They're really looking good now. Finishing touches, you can see the fin inserted in the last picture. Some store-bought padding, important for your feet, even though it can detract from the looks a little bit. And also you can see the handle. I just chose to go with a flexible handle. I know a lot of paddle boards also have just a built-in handle where you're able to insert your hand into the board itself. And maybe long-term that would be better. This just attached with 4 screws. Ready for the maiden trip. As you can see, it is a long board, sticks out of my truck quite a bit. And the first voyage on a beautiful lake. Just brought a smile to my face using that board on the water for the first time and it working, and yeah, after a long project, to use something is so satisfying. That's it. Very satisfied with the project overall. I'd probably recommend at least doing the frame kit, and you can also, of course, shorten some of your project time by buying the wood and milling it like I did. Of course, you have to have the equipment to do that too. But yeah, you need, of course, buy different skins. Cedar is light enough to do it. There are some lighter woods, though, that would be even better and lighter for the skin of the paddleboard itself. All right, thanks for watching.